Good afternoon, Israel briefers near and far, wherever you are. Welcome to the Israel Brief. I am Raylene Marks, and this is your date every Monday to Thursday if you want the top stories making headlines right here in Israel. The headlines that you definitely will not see on BBC News or Sky News or some of the other channels out there in your countries. As always, the Israel Brief is brought to you in partnership with these guys, Lay of the Land. And a reminder, if you would like to receive our weekly newsletter with original articles and recaps of the Israel Brief, please be in touch with us via our website. Today is day 501. Yes, we have crossed that 500-day mark, and this war, Operation Swords of Iron, is the longest war in Israel's history. In fact, some might say it is our second war of independence. We still have 73 hostages being held captive in the terror tunnels in the Gaza Strip. We want them home now. So on the subject of hostages, we begin with our top story, and Israel is preparing to receive the bodies of 4 hostages on Thursday. The hostages, once they arrive in Israeli territory, will be taken by the IDF in ambulances to Abu Kabir Forensic Institute, where their remains will be tested forensically and their families will be notified. Israel will receive the names of the deceased hostages who will be returned to us on Thursday. As you can imagine, it is going to be an extremely painful day for many of us in Israel. But as we've said all throughout this war, we want all of our hostages back. The living, that we can start the rehabilitation process, and the deceased, that we can lay them to rest with dignity and have a place where their families can weep. Meanwhile, negotiations are underway to facilitate the release of the 6 remaining hostages that are still alive for Saturday. Israel has agreed to allow in heavy machinery that includes heavy construction equipment as well as mobile homes. Earlier today, Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said that negotiations for the second phase of the ceasefire deal will begin, and Israel is insistent on Gaza being demilitarized. Yesterday, Prime Minister Netanyahu confirmed that Israel will not allow neither Hamas or the Palestinian Authority to rule over the Gaza Strip. And in more news about our hostages, the Cuneo family reported receiving a sign of life from one of the hostages that were released over the weekend, that their beloved, their David, is alive. Today is the deadline for the IDF to withdraw from Lebanon. The Lebanese army and the IDF have confirmed that Israel will maintain 5 strategic positions in the south of Lebanon. Now, a spokesperson for the IDF said that Israel will remain in these positions in order to ensure that we are able to defend our residents of the north. As we know, on the 8th of October, Hezbollah joined Hamas in firing rockets and anti-tank missiles and mortars towards communities in the north of the country. Now, the Lebanese army reported some controlled demolitions being carried out by the IDF before withdrawal. The hope is that the Lebanese army will help implement UN Resolution 1701, which states that Hezbollah must be demilitarized and remain north of the Litani River. Defense Minister Israel Katz has put together a panel tasked with facilitating the voluntary immigration of Gazans. The panel, which consists of different ministries, will help facilitate Gazans who wish to leave the Gaza Strip by air, land, and sea, and is a plan that is parallel to President Trump's Gaza plan, which he says America will take over the Strip after the civilians in Gaza have been safely relocated. Meanwhile, Egypt have presented their plan for Gaza, which would entail the civilian population being able to stay in secure parts of the Gaza Strip while reconstruction is underway. It's amazing that Egypt maybe could have facilitated a plan similar to that all during the last 16 months. However, we digress. And finally, yesterday we brought you that story that the government of Fiji were going to vote whether or not to open their embassy in Israel's capital, Jerusalem. Earlier today, Foreign Minister Gideon Saar confirmed that the vote did go ahead, and taking to X, he congratulated his counterpart, the Foreign Minister and the Prime Minister of Fiji, for voting to open an embassy in Jerusalem. Fiji will become the 7th country to have their embassy relocated or opened in Israel's capital. And he said, I congratulate Fiji on a decision to open their embassy in Jerusalem. Hopefully, many more will follow. So those are your top stories for today. We have a question from Sylvia Ehrlich, who wants to know, why is Qatar involved in negotiations? Now, of course, that is a question many of us are asking. Qatar maneuvered very quickly throughout this war to position themselves as, I won't say honest broker, but as a broker in negotiations. As we know, Qatar finances some of the worst anti-Semitism in the media and on university campuses and in academia throughout the world, and also gives safe haven to Hamas leaders, which possibly explains why they are willing to be participants, because they have the ear of Hamas leaders. Does it mean we trust them? Well, the jury's out on that. Make no mistake, we are under no illusions about the Qataris, but they do have the ability to bring Hamas to the table. And unfortunately, when you do negotiate, these are the kind of parties that you have to sit around the table with. From Israel's side, it's Israel and the United States that are pushing forward Israel's position. And from Hamas' side, they have the Egyptians and the Qataris. So, Sylvia, I hope that answers your question, but our eyes are wide open. So those are your top stories for today. Don't forget, if you have a question, please pop it in the comment section below, or be in touch with us via our website. And put your thinking caps on, guys, because we are getting close to Thursday, which means it is time for mentions, those who we feel are wonderful people, and morons, those who we feel are, well, morons. So in the meantime, don't forget to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Our Meta/Facebook page is right here at Lottel's site. Our YouTube channel is at the Israel Brief. Like, share, subscribe. Let's get that community growing. We want to get to as many people as possible. So if you haven't clicked on the red subscribe button, please do so. We are on LinkedIn at Rolene Marks, X at Lay of the Land 5, and on Instagram at Rolene_Marks. So guys, God bless you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will catch you for your news headlines tomorrow. Bye for now.